ViaSat, go Falcon Heavy.
Hello there, my YouTube friends. Got a fun one today. When the Falcon Heavy launched last month, I noticed something interesting traverse the screen perpendicular to the travel of the rocket as it was ascending, which I thought was pretty interesting and didn't understand what it was. So in this video, I'm going to do a little analysis going over the things it could have been for this unidentified flying object. And we'll see what was going on. The launch itself was pretty textbook for SpaceX. Everything went as planned. There was a slight launch delay, which caused the launch to happen right at dusk, which will come up later in this video. It was quite beautiful. The rocket flames and trails that were made by the rocket put on a pretty impressive show. You can see here just some gorgeous flames as the rocket ascends and the plume from the rocket engines widens due to the atmosphere getting thinner. One interesting thing I did notice during the ascent, you can see a little bit of blue-green, which sometimes indicates an engine failure. So I'm curious if the engines all got through this in good shape. Generally, when you see that, it's a pending failure of an engine. Here's the separation. It's right after the separation that you can see the boosters break away, and there's some more of that blue-green that I was talking about out of the vapor trail. But as they separate, you'll see here in a second, something will come up from the bottom on the left-hand side of the screen that is unexplained, but could be debris from the satellite. Ice that broke off is going in the same direction as the satellite, and there it is. You could see slowly going from the bottom to the top of the screen. The interesting one is the one you're about to see now. As the rocket is ascending, it's going into the sunlight. It's going higher. Here on the right, you can see the thing that I'm interested in. It traverses, goes right across the flight path of the rocket, and exits the other side in a perfectly straight line. That's pretty interesting. Again, slow down. Whatever this thing is, it goes right through the path of the rocket, has a steady state of brightness, and appears to be going in an almost perfectly straight line. Very interesting. What could it be? There's a couple of things we're going to go over in the video. Theory that it could be. Here I'm zooming in on it so you can kind of get an idea what it might be shaped like. But due to the movement of the object and the frame rate, it's probably streaked somewhat. But it appears to be flat or elongated. It's very interesting to see. I'm going to go through an analysis of some of the things this can't be, trying to be as unbiased as I can. So let's go through each of them one at a time. Number one, a bird. Well, I don't think it's a bird. If it was, you would see more variation in the brightness due to the flight track, the flapping of the wings, the bird changing its path. It's too straight of a line. I've seen birds before. It appears much too high in any case, so I'm going to rule out this being a bird. Number two, a plane. Maybe more plausible. At this point in the flight trajectory, the rocket is about 60 miles high or 100 kilometers. The plane definitely could not have been above the rocket, so it would have had to be below the rocket. As it traversed the screen, you also would have seen strobe from the strobe light that's on every plane, and most likely also the red and green from the wingtip markers on a plane. For this reason, I am very doubtful this was an airplane, and also you need to remember that there is an exclusion zone around a launch, and planes are not allowed in that area. So I'm highly doubtful this was an airplane. Number three, part of the rocket. So if you look at this picture here, you can see ice buildup on the side of the rocket. As it ascends, that ice does break off. So that does happen, but because the path of this object is going from right to left, perpendicular to the flight path of the rocket, I don't see any way this can really be ice, and also the brightness not changing. The ice would have been flipping around and doing all kinds of weird things. It's not part of that. I don't believe it was part of the rocket, so I'm ruling that out. A UFO or UAP. Not sure why we call them UAPs now. I thought UFO was good enough, but apparently things have to change, so now it's UAP. Anyway, sorry for the little rant, just one of my pet peeves. The object being a UFO, that's an interesting one. It does appear that this object was above the rocket due to the direction it's going, the straight line, the constant lighting of it. If it was a UFO, it could have been illuminated by reflections from the sun because being early in the evening, that's when things that are on the horizon appear much brighter than they do at other times of the night. So, could it have been a UFO? Well, it kind of is a UFO because we don't know what it is. But of alien intelligence, yeah, I'm a little doubtful of that. It's definitely interesting. But let's explore one further option, a satellite. At that time of day, low Earth orbiting satellites can be pretty easily seen because they're very bright. The sun reflects off of them on the horizon. That time of night is actually really good for satellite spotting. If you go to sites like heavensabove.com, you can find satellites above you that you'll be able to see that time of day. ISS is a really good one to go see the space station. In any case, so I did a little research, and there were a number of low Earth orbiting polar satellites. In other words, they orbit over the poles, not around the equator, that were indeed going from the south to the north. I found a couple of candidates that were in line with the trajectory of the camera with respect to the rocket that would have been in that area. So I believe at this time, due to the constant brightness which we were seeing, the time of day, and the fact that the reflection of satellites at that time is very bright, that this is a satellite that just happened to cross in front of the path of the rocket as it was traversing. Now, don't worry, there was really no danger of collision. The satellite's at this time pretty far above the rocket itself, and the COLA or collision avoidance predictions would have not allowed them to launch at a time where it would have been in the same path as the rocket. That's one of the reasons they have to pick specific times, because the COLA reports tell them, hey, you have to launch between this window and that window, otherwise you're going to be coming too close to some object that we know about. So I think we may have solved the mystery. If you don't agree, leave a comment. Let me know. I'll try to respond. The launch was extremely beautiful. When I saw that object crossing the screen and I was watching, I'm like, what the heck's going on here? But I think after this little mini analysis, it's pretty obvious this was a satellite in polar LEO orbit. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll do another one here soon. Let me know if you liked it. Hit that button and be sure to subscribe. Have a nice day.